There is a remote town in the United States. A terrible clown monster appears every 27 years. The clown takes the town's children captive and brutally kills them. Welcome back to Ms. Pumpkin Recapped. Today I'm going to show you a horror movie from 2017, It, Chapter 1. Time goes back to 1988. On a cold and rainy day, Bill gave his brother George folded a paper boat. Afterwards, George put on a yellow raincoat and ran happily to play in the street. As a result, the paper boat was washed into the sewer by the rain. When George is ready to bend down to pick up the paper boat, a clown suddenly appears in the sewer, and the paper boat falls into his hands. At the same time, the clown can also accurately say George's name. At this point, the clown asked George if he wanted to get the paper boat back. George was only a 4-year-old child and had no idea how scary the clown in front of him was. Just as George put his hand into the sewer, the clown suddenly opened his bloody mouth, bit off George's arm and dragged him into the sewer. Time came the following spring, and his father had accepted the fact that George was dead. But Bill had been convinced that George was not dead. It had just been washed down the sewer to a creek outside of town by the rain. Taking advantage of the summer break, Bill went to the creek with his 3 buddies to look for his brother. On the other hand, Ben is a new transfer student who is often bullied by the bad boys at school. He doesn't have many friends and has to go to the library to read books. At that time, Ben inadvertently turned to the history book about the town. He discovered that every once in a while groups of children would go missing from the town. In one of the photos, there was also a horrible face faintly appearing. Ben was so frightened that he hastily closed the book. After leaving the library, Ben meets the bad boy and got beaten up again. In the process of escape, Ben met Bill and others at the creek. They found that Ben was injured, so they went to the pharmacy to help him buy medicine. But several people do not have money on them. At this time, they just met to buy sanitary napkins to the pharmacy Beverly. Under the cover of Beverly, several people managed to escape the bill. By the next day, in order to express his gratitude, Ben invited friends to his home and told them what he had found in the library. This town has a large number of missing children every 27 years. This is definitely not a coincidence, and this year is exactly the 27th year of the last incident. It is likely that the same thing will happen again. Over the next few days, they all encounter terrible things. When Eddie passed by a spooky wooden house, the door opened automatically and an oozing voice came from inside, tempting Eddie to enter. Then, a terrible zombie appeared and forced Eddie to run in the direction of the cabin. Fortunately, he did not go in, but went around the side. Next moment, the zombie disappeared. A clown with a red balloon appeared in front of him, and Eddie was instantly scared and fled the scene. On the other hand, Stanley suddenly saw a scary woman at home. When Ben went to the library, he encountered a headless man running after him. This is a corpse that Ben saw in a book. Fortunately, Ben meets the librarian and the headless man finally disappears. Bill found the missing George in the basement of his home. At this point, George was still wearing the yellow raincoat. Immediately after, the clown appeared. If Bill had not run fast enough, it is estimated to have been killed. Beverly heard strange noises coming from the sewer in the bathroom, as if someone was calling her from below. Beverly reached into the sewer with a tape measure and pulled out a clump of bloody hair. Then, something terrible happened. More and more hair was wrapped around Beverly, seemingly dragging her into the sewer. Just then, the father opened the door in time to avoid the tragedy. The next day, they get together. Bill talked about his sighting of the clown, and the others said that something terrible and strange had happened to them. It turns out they all saw what they were most afraid of. That's when they found out that the bad boy was bullying again. Beverly took the lead and picked up a big rock and smashed it straight away. The bad boy also did not give up. Both sides played a stone war. Not long after, the bad boy was driven away. They returned to the town, found that there are children missing. This is the second case of missing children in town this month. Combining all these, they came up with a guess. There is an evil monster in this town that comes out every 27 years to plague children. He would conjure up what little children feared most, based on their inner fears. At this point, Mike said he encountered something similar the other day and saw the parents who were burned to death. This reinforced several people's suspicions. So, Bill took the friends to his garage. They looked at the materials Bill had collected and found that the locations of the disappearances were located near the sewers. The sewers all converge to a place called the Well House. There is a notoriously haunted house in town, and the place where Eddie saw the clown earlier. They guessed that place should be the evil clown's lair. Just then, something terrible happened again. The projector began to automatically switch pictures, and finally settled on a family photo of Bill. In the family portrait, Bill's mother's appearance began to change, becoming a clown with a wicked smile. Then, the clown rushed out of the image. At a critical moment, Mike and Ben pushed open the garage door, and the clown finally disappeared. At this time, Bill hurried to the clown's lair despite the obstruction of his friends, and he wanted to find his younger brother. Therefore, other friends had to follow. After arriving at the well room, Eddie and Richie followed Bill in while the others waited outside. In the process of searching, Eddie got separated from his friends and encountered the terrifying zombie again. Finally, he fell downstairs in fright and passed out. Richie is locked in a room filled with all kinds of clown dolls. At this moment, the clown suddenly appeared and rushed towards him. Fortunately, Bill pushed open the door in time, and Richie escaped out on the other side. The comatose Eddie slowly woke up and found the clown crawling out of the cabinet. At this time, his legs were so frightened that it was difficult to escape. At a critical moment, Beverly, who heard the sound, ran in and stabbed the clown with an iron rod. The injured clown fled and hid in a dry well, and everyone hurried out of the well room. But Bill didn't give up, and hoped that he would break into the well room when he was fully prepared. However, other people saw the clown with their own eyes, and were very scared in their hearts, and they were determined not to return to that horrible place. And just like that, they parted ways. However, the matter did not end. The next day, Beverly was kidnapped by the clown at home. After learning the news, Bill quickly notified the others. When the friends learned that Beverly was arrested, they made an appointment to go to the well house to save people. Soon, everyone came to the dry well. After encouraging each other, they used the rope to go down the well. Mike happened to be the last to go down the well. Just as he was about to go down the well, he was attacked by the bad boy who was following him. At this moment, the bad boy wants to kill Mike because he is bewitched by the clown. Mike could only fight back and crash him into the dry well. In the depths of the dry well, the unconscious Beverly gradually woke up. There were all kinds of garbage around, and Beverly looked up and was stunned by the scene in front of her. There were countless corpses suspended above the garbage, which should be the missing children in the town. At this time, the clown suddenly appeared, scaring Beverly to run away immediately. As a result, she was grabbed by the clown and lifted into the air. Immediately afterwards, the clown opened his bloody mouth, and a strange deathlight emanated from the depths of his throat. Beverly and Stanley lost her sanity. At the same time, after passing through the dark and damp tunnel, Bill and the others finally arrived here. They found Beverly floating in the air and quickly rescued her. Seeing the unconscious Beverly, Ben immediately kissed her. Unexpectedly, Beverly actually woke up just as everyone was celebrating. Bill saw the missing George. As much as he missed George, Bill knew in his heart that he was dead. The George in front of him must have been transformed by a clown. Seeing that Bill was not fooled, the clown showed his true shape. Although clowns look scary, they have gone through so much and are no longer afraid of clowns. They bravely fought the clown. The source of the clown's power is the fear that humans have of him. The more you fear the clown, the stronger he will be. When they overcome their inner fears, the clowns become very weak. In the end, the clown was stabbed by steel bars and fell into the dark well. At this time, the corpse floating in the air also slowly fell. Afterwards, they made an agreement. If the clown hadn't died, 27 years later, wherever they were, they would be back in town again to get rid of the clown.